Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Do a little Mr. Miyagi. No, I'm doing the Karate Kid focus in and out right here. This is like me breaking blocks of ice. Okay.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss, they're gonna be hot. Oh, yo, Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
I dangled for too long there. That wasn't fun.
But I'm so apathetic to Star Wars that this episode could have featured Yoda riding on a dildo being wielded by R2-D2, and I would have the same reaction.
Yo, you let that joint hit the back of your throat. Have you no shame?
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I want to dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia.
I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
Oh, yeah, is that sauce good? Oh, that sauce is good.
You got to watch it. You got to hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on. Everyone who's watching this
video
needs to
that.
go over
Don't
there,
say it like that.
And share the video. We got to keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it.
Oh, you will taste and see that I am delicioso.
But it was a space battle. It's a visually impressive object all over it.
Great Scott. I'm retarded.
It has shown us one thing. The fake fans, the stands, they show up. They showed up for all of these. But they're not an audience.
Nope.
They're a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a parking lot watching each other do weird shit.
Oh, God.
I don't know where I come up with these. They just happen.
Are you out there watching them watch them?
I can hear them from where I am. That's the
problem.
A lot of squelching.
Yeah. Listen, at least I don't have to clean it up. That's good.
I'm colored. Shut up.
I'm not gonna try and win hearts and minds, pretend I'm something I'm not. They think a video game. No, it's bullshit. Not real. But we don't want Revan touched. No.
Agreed.
You don't want anything good touched.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah. Because Disney Star Wars is a bad touch.
It is a bad touch.
Touches you in the bad place.
It's a bad touch.
Show me on the doll where Disney Star Wars touched you.
I need a bigger doll.
Oh, God.
There's no doll left.
Howdy, all. I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and it is May the 4th. So let me wish each and every one of you, May the 4th be with you, because you know what? Disney Star Wars has proven that it will carry on the mantle, the glory, the legacy of George Lucas Star Wars. They have brought Ahsoka into the limelight. Rey will make a new Jedi Order where she will train Grogu to be the greatest of all Jedi once he's done with his time with Mando, once they've had their adventures. And we know and feel this because on May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day, it represents everything that is great about Disney Star Wars, which is just everything Dave Filoni does. Tony Gilroy has made Andor some of the best Star Wars television ever, okay? And I can say that because I am a real Star Wars fan. I love everything. I watch everything. I write great reviews. I hit that like button all the time. I make sure that everybody who stands up for the glory of Kathleen Kennedy, who protects her, who shields her from the internet trolls, who take their time every day to try and shit on all the great work she's done with Dave Filoni and our friend Jon Favreau, okay? We have to remember everything they have done Everything they have worked hard to make better than what George did. Do you understand? They have made it better than George Lucas. The Rise of Skywalker took Star Wars to heights we have never seen before. And now we're getting the Mandoverse. They are so good, they have the ability to remake Heir to the Empire. That's how good this will be. So you guys have to understand, on this actual real Star Wars day, May the 4th, we must realize, we must have our moment that Disney Star Wars keeps on winning, and it'll keep winning into the future. I cannot wait 10 years from now to celebrate the sequel trilogy like we've celebrated Revenge of the Sith this past week. So thank you, one and all. May the 4th be with you.
What? What? What?
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
I want to remind everybody that I was paid to say those lies are propaganda. I was paid. No, it's not my true heart feeling.
That doesn't make you seem any better.
That just makes you a whore.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the round table. Hail and howdy. We hope you're having a good weekend. And I would like to take a moment. I want everybody just like to a moment of silence and prayer for all the people I murdered last night on Among Us. I slaughtered so many retards left and right. It was glorious. Drake was glorious. Jed and I, we had a one-time partnership in that. We ran the table. They never even knew. It was over before they knew what happened. They all thought it was other people. I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. Blame Cloud, blame Dermy, then kill Dermy. Self-report on killing Dermy. It was glorious. It was a lot of fun. If you guys want to watch it, it's unlisted here, but it is up on the gaming channel, Renaissance Arcade. It's a lot of fun. It was one of our best ones ever, I think. Really was. So, hell and hat, everybody. Hope you're having a glorious Saturday afternoon as we will talk about things. Some things I want to talk about, some things I don't. Some things I don't. And I think we're going to have a talk today. It's going to be a little talk, a little bit of a disagreement in our little echo chamber here about something. But we're gonna have some fun. So, Jed, you survived an Among Us, another Ballbusters Among Us stream last night.
I did, yeah. It was a lot of fun. It's great to get out some anger on some people who are complete degenerates. It makes me feel better about my own life. And yeah, I undid any enjoyment I had out of that by watching the newest episode of Doctor Who right before the stream started. So yeah. I got that fresh in my mind.
Don't you feel good about being right, though, Jed?
No, I don't feel good about being right because RTD continues to show that he has no understanding of classic Who. The Ronnie is not just female master. That's all she was in this episode. No, she's a complicated character. She's more in common with Missy at the end of season 10, where it's like, is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Kind of out for her own gain. Sometimes ally, sometimes villain. A lot more nuanced of a character. This one's just like, I will kill the Doctor because I hate him so much. I hate everyone. Can more people die? I like people dying.
Yeah.
So generic.
I just did my review before the stream today. I've got it. I need to edit it, and it'll be up later on the channel. But yeah, that whole episode, just a quick little thing. The way I view that episode is, of course, written by Juno Dawson, who is an it, they, them horrible person in this world,
who teaches children how to use Grindr.
Groomer. It's he, she, it wrote a groomer book,
and talks about how back when he was a man or presenting as a man, he was gay because he liked the idea of being a woman, being, done things to as a woman, and gayness was the closest that he could handle or figure out how to do until became trans. That's the stuff that's being published in this person's children's books. This dude writes propaganda for children. It's explicit material for children. And that's the experience that's all it takes to be a Doctor Who writer these days. Be a degenerate fuck, and you can write Doctor Who. No
And-
actual TV experience.
And what this episode was is on the surface, it seemed like it was almost there, but then you dig deep and none of the actual plot lines make any sense. And then they forget plot lines. And then you put Shooty Who in a situation where he almost is the doctor, but doesn't have the gravitas to pull it off. And then his motivations are all over the place. Doesn't make any sense. But we'll get into that tomorrow night on Doctor Who Cares Reviews with me, Jed, and Dermy. But Dre, you don't give a shit about any of that stuff. How are you?
I do not. It's really good to be back. This has been an absolute wild week for me. A wild week. First, the high points. Well, actually, controversial points. First of all, brothers, please forgive me for I have sinned. Forgive me for I have sinned.
Oh, you bought a Funko Pop, didn't you?
Not only it's a limited edition Daredevil.
Oh no,
Shadowland. That's so. Forgive me. Forgive me. It's limited edition. I had to. I had to. But on the good side, we do have a really good figure, non-pop.
Okay.
But we actually have finally the release of the select Snorlax Pokemon joint.
All right, I'll allow it.
First time in its existence. It's not a pop. It's a select. And the first time in its existence, we finally have a legit Snorlax figure.
Snorlax is OG. I'll allow that. He's OG.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I have been contacted by a vice principal of elementary school this week. Tomorrow I will be at career day for the students, so I am very excited about that. That it's a huge honor, so I'm very, very excited.
Cool beans, dude.
To be able to mold some young minds and get them excited about writing and art and stuff like that. So that's a very, very cool thing.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
That is very exciting. I was a little worried for a second you were going to say the vice principal called you and said, hey, why aren't you staying 500 feet away?
Oh, Jed. And so that's all the good stuff. I also kicked over a hornet's nest on, what's today? Today is Sunday. So
Yes.
Friday, I kicked over a hornet's nest. I dropped a short that was connected to my review of my trailer review for Iron Trash. So
yeah.
And I've never seen those type of viewership that quickly before. The short has at this point 11,000 views.
Wow! I did a re short. I only got a few hundred.
Yeah, 11,000 views, and I mean all the freaks came out to play. And
yeah, I mean,
wild.
I didn't want to. Jed knows, but we are going to spend a moment on Ree Williams just for the fact that we need to dispel some narratives, and Dre is here to help dispel those narratives.
Yeah,
that are out there.
That was freaking wild.
We have.
I've never. Okay, no, it's not true. But the argument that's being made is that it's ageism because they can't do the black thing.
New one.
Because
that's a new one. For me, it was the black thing. Black.
Yeah,
that's
but
what
since I'm black, they can't say it's because I'm black. Yeah. So they're going with ageism
at you. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically saying I'm an old black guy. So therefore, I'm trying to hold back the new generation of blackies.
Put a pin in that.
Wild.
We'll get to it.
Wild
because we're going to go over that too. Anyway, so hail and had everybody in the chat. We're happy to have you here. Hail to my mods, who are essentially the only ones chatting right now. We're glad to have you guys here, keeping the peace. I see Son of Jocks are in there as well. And if you're not chatting, that's fine. We're happy to have you here. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Links are description below. And let's remind everybody where exactly we are on my day of doom. We are almost at $1,300.
That's wild.
Which will make you guys choose the color of the trash lightsaber we will now build during the Day of Doom. Now we got to get to 1,400. We got to get to 1,400 where you're all going to likely make me build the ugliest BB-8 droid ever.
Ugh.
That's going to happen. So let's try and get to 1,400. So first, we're at $19 more. It's 1,300. Just 19, whether it's a super chat, a Stream Elements tip, or equivalent within membership donations. You get there, we got 1,300. But let's get to that 1,400 because that means, remember, once I'm in a new studio and I have a different background and setup, the BB-8 droid, this ugly ass BB-8 droid that I will hate forever, will have to sit there, and I can't destroy it. Just like I can't destroy the lightsaber. They have to remain. It would take act of God for those things to be destroyed. So I have to live with them forever. And then there's the rest of it. But right now we're focused on getting to that $1,400 goal. We can do it. I know you can do it because I know you want to make me suffer. And there's some other ideas we might throw in there because we still got 2.5 weeks left or 2 weeks left. We got 2 weeks left on the month before this is over. And we can get right now the top tier is 1,500 where I pretend to be a Raylo and take pictures with Kylo and Rey.
Oh.
And there is a rumor out there that we might also put a Pride shirt on me, a Disney Pride shirt on me.
Oh my God.
Blame Bailey James for that one. He threw that out there on Ballbusters. We have to think about that. So we might do that too for a picture. I don't know. I don't want to. There you go, guys. We can get there. We can make me suffer. It's your job to make me suffer. I don't get to have nice things. Anyway, so here we go. All right. So we do have I think we got a good show. We're going to get some good discussions today. We will check in on Thunderbolts just because that's the job. We'll check that disaster in the making or disaster happening, excuse me. But then I'm going to lead that into this happened yesterday. I picked this up yesterday and I thought about it. I thought, yes, let's do it. Even though it does edge into the political realm, we still must talk about it because Pedro Pascal opened his mouth at an interview and has said some stuff. Now, if we lived in a vacuum, whatever, but we don't. And it just kind of repeats the evidence that if you believe a certain way at Disney, that is a heavy engine acceleration.
Yep, sorry about that. That's my neighbor. Sorry about that.
It's all right. If you say certain things and believe certain things, you could say whatever you want at Disney. But if you are, let's just say Gina Carano, and you just put up a meme and never say a damn thing, oh, you have to be canceled. You don't get to work anymore. But Pedro gets every job in the world and can say whatever he wants repeatedly without discrimination. And because, well, we'll get into it. We're going to talk about that. And on top of that, let's see, what else do I got here? We will, of course, just for shits and giggles, we will talk about Ree Williams. Not too long, just enough to talk about what Dre brought up, what I brought up, and what the truth is about Ree Williams. There's the truth, and then there's what the insane people who are defending her for just her skin color are saying. And then we gonna have a talk. We can go up behind the barn. We gonna have a talk. Superman, James Gunn's Superman dropped a trailer this week. I was directed to review it live on Daily Dive, which I did. And FU Warner Brothers for eventually hitting the claim on me on that. Although then the weird thing is I cut the same exact thing out for a video. And while it took a day to check, no claim. And the claim they did claim me on was for the bastardized John Williams theme. At least that's how I see it. So we're going to talk about the James Gunn trailer because we have differing opinions. But we're an echo chamber. We don't disagree on anything. So we're going to have...
You mean that we can actually disagree and still be dignified people, Adam? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's impossible.
See, we're going to get so angry. I'm going to call you all kinds of gamer words, Dre, during this.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so we are going to have a discussion about the trailer where it's essentially a 2-on-1 here. Jen and I are not happy. Dre is happy. Or at least satisfied.
Satisfied.
But because there's a clear demarcation line. I despised every bit of that trailer. Every single bit. But we'll get into that. Because it's a real discussion, real debate. And I think that's everything I have on tap. Let me see. I might, if you guys want me to, if I get instigated, I may complain about Andor for 2 seconds just because it's over now, thank God.
Oof.
But well, I do have one thing. Let's start with warm up with that. There's the warm, because I just want to bring this to your attention, guys. I need to bring this to your attention. Andor is done. Thank God it's over. This horrible, horrible thing. And yes, it is horrible because no matter how you break it apart, look at it, it is still Disney Star Wars. And I say this over and over again. I'm a broken goddamn record, I know. But Disney Star Wars is not a la carte. It all feeds into each other. Andor feeds into Rogue One, which feeds into breaking the lore. of the original trilogy, which feeds into all of Disney Star Wars. It all comes together. But with Andor ending this week, to people on the stand side who think some outrageous things I'm going to bring up to you guys, and I want your thoughts on it, to even people on our sphere who say, oh, it's fine. Oh, it's along with the original trilogy, Andor is my canon now. Making my point about the cognitive dissonance people have. They will shit on every other aspect of Disney Star Wars, but they like one little thing, which isn't really Star Wars. Andor is not Star Wars. Tony Gilroy said this week in an interview, I didn't watch or read any Star Wars before I made this.
No,
I started watching something, and then I stopped, and then I just made it, which shows you it's not really about Star Wars. It's about a spy thriller, which Jed and I, we just talked about a spy thriller with Mission Impossible yesterday. It's a spy thriller with science fiction elements with Star Wars words thrown in there. That's what it is. And if you like that kind of thing, then you're going to like it. But don't call it Star Wars, and don't pull the bullshit of saying, oh, we could keep this one. We could keep this one, even though it rewrote everything that was in the real lore for 30 years prior. But we get stupid shit like this right here. This stand, one of many. It's the only one that I kept. This is the new best Star Wars trilogy.
God.
Andor Season 1, Season 2, and Rogue One. Which, Jed, by the way, we've heard repeatedly from people who actually took the time to accurately report on Andor Season 2. They broke Rogue One lore.
Did they?
Yes, apparently there are lines in Rogue One talking about we've never been in prison, or we get in prison all the time, and Cassian says, oh no, this is my first time, but he had a whole prison arc in Season 1. And there's other lines, this and here and there. They break all kinds of their own canon. Once again, that's the staple of Disney Star Wars. They can't keep their own effing canon straight. They can't. So there's this, but then we all know that there are several major shills on Disney Star Wars out there in social media. Star Wars Holocron, one of the biggest. They pretend to be fans, but they're fake fan everything. New Star Wars trilogy has been born. Oh, now it's Andor, Rogue One, and and Star Wars Episode 4. A New Hope.
Huh?
Thank you. Huh?
Yeah, New Hope's already in its own trilogy.
Yeah.
That works cohesively together.
Mm-hmm. So this is derangement. Plain and simple.
Can't argue with that.
There's been some pretty bad ones. I just saw a stand today, actually, who said, I'm so sick of Star Wars projects dealing with peripheral characters and not mentioning Andor at all. And he shared a scene of Luke Skywalker taking off Vader's helmet.
Yep. I commented on one of those. Yeah, that's the meme going around where they think they're being clever. It just proves these people can't meme. They're not funny. And they're that's a purposeful gaslight. Just like another retard who constantly goes, "Oh, Canon Revan, can't wait for her." Everybody knows that Revan is canonically a man, and this jackass just does it to gaslight. You cannot hate fake fans enough for this shit. And I've said this, and I'm not going to call out names because I don't want to start actual drama. I'm not here to pick a fight. I'm just going to blanket say, by claiming Andor is good, by supporting it, you lend credence to all these retards who say this shit. You can like it, but you have to differentiate. You have to dissect it down and say, I like these aspects. I liked it. And I have said this, it's a well-produced show. They spent that $650 million.
That's crazy.
Which is way too much money for a TV show.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. But they spent it. We could say they spent it. It looks good. But
I think it just looks good by comparison that they're not using the volume like the rest of Disney Star Wars.
Perhaps. That's
the volume is terrible.
That's an excellent argument to make. But you could say, okay, I like it the way it looks. You could say you like some characters. You could even say you like some performances because Stellan Skarsgård is a great actor, but I still say he phoned it in this whole thing. He phoned it in. You could say that stuff, but Don't say this is Star Wars. Don't say it's good Star Wars. If I hear again this is the last good Star Wars we're gonna get forever, I might just go hurt Dermy to take out my pain and suffering. I'm not gonna hurt myself. I'll hurt Dermy. Okay?
And he'd like it.
Oh, he'll go.
Oh God.
Yeah, he'll make a noise, and then I'll go ew. And then
You nearly made the noise, didn't you? There. You had to
I
stop
thought,
yourself.
well, here's the thing. I didn't know what noise to make. That was the problem. I didn't know what noise to make.
Goodness me.
Now I'll go get then I'll stop using a blunt instrument. I'll go get something with spikes on it. Well, Rolando, here's the point though, man. It isn't Star Wars. You could take out every element in Andor and it doesn't work. Okay, but you're not watching.
Nobody's watching it because the ratings are not good for it.
Yeah, it's bottom 5 on Samba 3 weeks in a row. It finally went up to 8th last week, but that was because of controversy again. It moved up. That's because everybody was just talking about it because of the greatness of 8 and 9. And this week, it'll probably drop down to 10 because from what I heard from legitimate people trying to truly be objective and not suck its balls, it was kind of a flat ending.
That's most of what I've heard is that the entire show is boring except for one episode in season 1 and one episode in season 2 that are all right. And everyone's just like, that totally makes the boring episodes worth it.
But isn't that the Disney Plus formula? Isn't that the same formula?
Yeah, essentially.
Might be something interesting. Trash, 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 trash. Filler, trash, 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 trash. Finale. It's the same formula. Whether it's Marvel or Star Wars, it's the same old crap. And I'm glad to see that fewer people are falling for the trap, granted, but it's still garbage. I don't understand. This is not good television.
No, it isn't. I mean, here's the problem. They're saying it is good television. People who garner a certain amount of respect, rightfully so in many ways, they're still promoting it as good, saying it's brilliant, it's banger. Honestly, I hate the word banger. I hate that word. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't. It's personal preference. I don't like that word. But you praise it for you have to differentiate. Praise it for its elements that you like, but then say it's not really good Star Wars. If you say that, I will accept everything you say it. I will accept everything you say about it. If you just say, yeah, but you know what? It's not Star Wars. It's not Star Wars.
By Tony Gilroy's own admission, like you don't even need to prove, like you don't need to make an argument with these people. The guy who made it said, "Yeah, I don't watch Star Wars, so yeah, I didn't make it like Star Wars." That's it. That's conversation over, or at least it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there it is. Now I'm done. I'm done with Star Wars. I'm done with Disney Star Wars. I'm done with Andor because there's no point to it. We are now coming into the summer months of things. We are 2 months away from the triple threat match in July with the movies that will wipe out all their conversations between dinosaurs, Superman, and baby steps. That's going to wipe out everything else. That's what we're going to talk about for all of July into August. And I can't wait to get there because let's be honest, Andor will be wiped from most people's memories in a month. I mean, the stands are going to cry about how everybody in Andor should be an Emmy winner. That's one of the things. Oh my God, Emmy this, Emmy that. First of all, if you are crying over the Emmys and wanting to be a part of that, you're a moron because these self-important award shows are all meaningless anyway.
That's true.
So I just wanted to get that out there. Hopefully, this is the last time I talk about it.
And Adam, I'm glad you mentioned that because I did get something else in the mail that I can't believe I forgot. I was bidding on it on eBay for quite a bit of time.
Oh.
But now I finally have
Funko Pop?
No, sir. Thrawn Trilogy graphic novel.
Oh,
first print edition.
Oh,
just got
damn. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, you redeemed yourself for the Funko Pop. Redeemed it.
For every Funko Pop, you have to buy something good to balance it out.
Oh, man. Okay, so now let's talk some MCU. Oh, actually, let me check stream elements real quick. Make sure there's nothing there. Oh, we do. We too. Okay. All right. Let me get it. I have to move.
Is it your inner monologue again?
No, it's the Atom again.
Oh, Adam, why are you looking for that? Yes, Rolando. I am the Green Lantern. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. John Stewart all day.
You're more of a Green Lantern than Nathan Fillion, that's for sure. Anyway,
True.
All right. So, all right, for $30 on Stream Elements from The Atom. I wish I could comment, but The Atom is still upset with me. Almost pulled a fast one on Among Us. Oh, this is Dom. I think Dom forgot to change his name again.
Yep.
It's Dom. This is from Dom. This is from Dom. Dom is not banned. From Dom H on Stream Elements. I wish I could comment, but The Atom is still upset with me. Almost pulled a fast one on Among Us right last night on Adam when I killed Dermy and tried blaming it on Adam, but it didn't work because Alpha's a bigot.
That's right.
So I caught it. I got hit, but Alf caught a stray. Alf caught a stray. It was a glorious night. Seriously, guys, go watch it. It's on the gaming channel right now. It's a lot of fun. Dom, there was a great moment last night. I had Dom dead to rights. I came around. I saw him kill somebody. And then Dermy and I were both hitting the report button, and then Dom just sprang into it. Adam did it! I didn't do it! Adam did it! And we just went on a yelling match for 5 minutes, trying to blame each other. When I saw him do it, he was running away, and everybody knew it, so they voted him out. But it was great. Dom's a good sport. Dom's a good sport. He gets as much shit tossed at him during Among Us games as the rest of us. It was glorious. So thank you, Dom, for the $30. Let's update the tally, and that puts us to, that's 1281 plus 30 puts us, if my math is correct, at 1311. Is my math right? 91.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 1311. Yeah. So we are at $1,311, and that means that we are now, you guys at the chat on the day of, when we are there, when we're putting it together, while we're doing it, we'll be live streaming. You guys will get to choose the lightsaber crystal color, and not necessarily from the base one. There might be extra ones in the shop that we saw, like a gay ass pink one or something. You can make me put in there. So now chat on the day of doom will get to choose it. So now we're on the road. $89 more. And we build an ugly ass BB-8.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Don't let Dermy near it. There might be a new hole in the back of it if you do.
Oh God.
Put it in what? Oh, Rolando, are you aware of what's going on? Well, if you haven't been around for a bit, so we've got a thing going on here. We've got goals going on. It has to do with all kinds of stuff right now. Here's the banner again. My day of doom will be a year from now. We're doing a meetup in Florida. Hopefully, I'll be living there right now. The better the channel does, the more of a chance I can move to Florida within the next year. And we're doing a meetup at Disney Star Wars Galaxy Edge on actual real Star Wars Day, Monday, May 26, 2026. We're doing a meetup. It's a whole thing. We will be streaming live, recording videos that day of me in the park being a shill the entire day. I have to be dressed up and pretend to be a Disney stand shill for the entire day as long as I'm being recorded. And amongst these events, and this is going to be like a whole week of doing stuff, which will include now going to see Mandalorian and Grogu in a Disney theater with a baby Yoda Grogu in my lap. As you sit there, I have to write a positive review of the Mandalorian and Grogu. No faking. And then I'll have to put out my real review a few days later. I have to hold hands with Dermy for 30 minutes if he's there, where we both have to be besties for resties, and the chat and then you guys get to send super chats to tell us to do non-gay shit. Then we do get
a little bit gay. A little bit gay.
We're already holding hands. It's already gay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's some gay.
And now next Sunday, on this show next Sunday, we're going to have a special segment. Because we crossed that threshold, you guys will put forward your ideas for a Disney Star Wars fan fiction I have to write and then do a dramatic reading of on the Daily Dive the following week.
That I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, so next week Jed will roll through the requirements for what the fan fiction will require, and then I have to do that. So don't say that, Rolando. Don't say that. I don't need to know that. No.
He is. It's true.
He's not going to hide it either.
Oh no.
So and
wearing
then
some hoochie daddy shorts. You know it's coming.
so there's and then right now today, yet a couple days ago we crossed it. We'll be going into the lightsaber workshop where Brad will likely be directing traffic on that one. Duke Devil Bradley Burnett. Brad will be there. He'll be directing traffic as we build the ugliest ass lightsaber possible. And now, because we just crossed $1,300, you guys will get to choose that day the color of the kyber crystal we got to put in there. And now we're heading towards the $1,400 because it costs $100 to build it. $1,400, you build an astromech droid, but there's BB-8 droids. You guys won't let me build an R2 unit. You'll make me build a BB-8. And we got a couple more things in here. So it's an entire thing that's happening. And you guys are making it happen to make me suffer my day of doom, my week of doom. So that's what's going on, Orlando. So there we go. All right, guys. So now let's talk some MCU. I know. Huzzah. Hooray. MCU, just for a checkup, because it's our Sunday privilege. Thunderbolts box office. It's not looking good. We're 3 weeks in at 325. Only 155 domestic, 170 for the international. We go down to the box office, and oh no, only brought in $16 million.
It's over. It's just not even going to break even. It's over.
That's not good.
It's not good, you know.
I mean, even with its budget at 180, it still needs the 450 to break even. There's no way it's not going to find another $125 million. It's not going to. So they're going to lose about $100 million on this, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost toast.
100 plus. And I don't care. I don't care. I laugh and point and laugh. But this is it. So we just wouldn't touch it. But they're not done. So before baby steps, we've got Williams. Yeah, I got a little Vince there. I know.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Dre's favorite Marvel character.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
All right. So at the same time,
He finally feels represented.
At the same time as the Superman trailer, we got the Ironheart trailer. Dre, they've been sitting on this thing for almost 3 years.
Yeah, it's and you can see why. Right when the Joan came out, it's
yeah. Now we're not going to watch the trailer. There's no point in that. We've all. I reacted to it on Daily Dive. Dre's reacted to it. Jed's seen it enough. He doesn't need to see it. Chat, I'm sure you've seen it too. This thing is retardedly ridiculous.
It's a rough trailer. Like, it's just a bad trailer.
It's bad. I mean, she's ripping off elevator handlebars that I couldn't even rip off. I couldn't do that myself. She's just a belligerent little black girl, constantly being affirmed by a dude who's got too much soul glow in his hair.
It's true,
and it's ridiculous. And it's more racism. The trailer essentially too. Yeah. So all that aside, it's gotten destroyed on social media, YouTube, Twitter. Say what you want. It's been destroyed. But Dre, you said you put up a short, and I reacted. I did a reaction. I did a whole reaction. I did the reaction video. I did a reaction to the reaction of people who are defending this. And this is the one that it turns out all of us got to look at. Somehow this dude, all of us got to look at this one dude, Keyshawn Watkins. Keyshawn Watkins. And who, as you see from his hashtags, Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, Stay Woke. I mean, the hypocrisy of all of that, it's mind-blowing. Anyway.
Christ, help me.
He said this. It's quoting people who are actually saying why we don't agree with rules. It's not racism, though. People just think she's a bad character, and the trailer just looks bad. He says, bullshit. We saw this character one time in the MCU, and he does sit in the MCU, but that doesn't count. I'm sorry. Riri Williams in the MCU doesn't exist in a void. And it was in the film that people generally liked. Well, again, I call shenanigans on that. Nobody liked that movie.
Yeah, it's
Nobody
rough.
liked that movie. Remember, that's the movie that Dre, black folks said we're gonna stand guard and not let white people into watch.
Yeah.
It's
I remember.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of watching Riri's introduction in that film where she's talking about you got to be conscious of the ash on your head or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad scene. But funnily enough, the evidence that he uses to prove that this reaction is racist actually proves the opposite. These people have no grasp of logic or argument or evidence or anything like that. Because if this were racism, that film that she was in that was generally well liked, that has a predominantly diverse cast, would have been hated and would have been a failure and would have been ratioed. Black Panther 1 would not be $1 billion movie. So you're bringing this up to destroy your own argument. If this were racism, that movie would not be generally well liked, as you said.
Yeah, I
whether
mean,
or not that's true.
He's hypocritical. I mean, the truth is, I mean, Wakanda Forever wasn't hated; it was largely ignored, is what it was. It was largely ignored. Nobody went to see it. Nobody cared about it, and those who did see it criticized it for sloppy storytelling.
Yep, it was a bad story, and this argument is tired. The racism nonsense, it's tired. Because what came out a month ago? What was that movie, Sinners? And that joke did
a month ago. It's
very well.
It's now number 1 in the country.
Yeah, and I'm like it's not racism. People don't like garbage, and whoever Keyshawn is doesn't understand the history behind Ironheart. This joint has been a failure since she debuted, not even 10 years ago. Okay,
Trey, I'm so glad you brought up her origin because I have it. I have her 3-page origin story.
I think she has the worst origin story of any character in the history of mankind.
It's terrible.
History.
Let's review.
Comics, books, movies, anything.
Let's review. I want to review, and it's out of order. I hate it when it's out of order. Why is it out of order?
Well, there's the OCD.
Well, I set it up. Let's review Riri's origin. Now, Dermy actually brought up a good point. Apparently, she's modeled after the person who created this daughter. I didn't know that. All right, so
I was about to say something mean about the way this girl looked, but once you said that, I think I'll refrain.
Now, here we are in class where Riri's going to stand up and basically say, hi, this is quiet time. So it's self-study, but Riri wants to stand up and get attention. Everybody look at me. I'm Riri Williams. I wanted you to know I've decided what I'll be when I grow up. Okay, let's go. Okay, all right, teacher's like, fine, let's hear. Doesn't demean her, does nothing. Let's give the special snowflake her moment in the sun. I'm going to be a scientist. Great. That's great. Great? No, you're supposed to say, you mean like a nurse? And then I say, so right away, she's setting herself up to want a chip on her shoulder. She wants to be talked down to. Dre, I'm not misreading this, am I?
No, you're not misreading that. You are reading it correctly.
Okay. Why would I say that? You're supposed to tell me nursing, teaching are noble professions and that people like me don't get to grow up to be scientists. And the teacher goes, why would I do that? Then Riri says, that's what they said to the first African-American astronaut. Well, that was then she told them, no, I'm going to be a scientist. And then she did it. Okay.
You see, this is the problem. Well, there's a lot wrong with this. But the writer behind this story is a race baiter, and that's why I have a major problem. I don't mind issues of race being tackled within a story. That's fine, but this is race baiting. When you have a character that, first of all, is white and black, like whatever, that's always going to be our thing. This is America. It's always going to be that thing. And the idea that this white woman is not a racist at all.
She's pushing her buttons trying to get her to be a racist.
Yes, that's the problem with these panels. It's literally this black girl is trying to force this white woman into a racist conundrum when she has no racist bones in her body.
Yes.
That's a problem. That's race baiting.
And it only gets worse.
Infuriates me.
Only gets worse.
This is the origin of a villain. This is ego-driven, like in the trailer where she's like, I want to be iconic. proceeds to steal someone else's iconography right after that. But that's ego-driven. Villains are the ego-driven ones. Heroes shouldn't be. And when they are, it is a character flaw that they work on, like Iron Man. He does have an ego, but he works on it and progresses and is able to divorce himself from it. Like it's an intentional character flaw. She's shown as being good for having an ego. That's villain behavior.
Right here. Here it is right here. The teacher says you can be whatever you want. You could be whatever, because that was a different time where more racisms really were happening. And then she admits, I wanted you to be racist. I wanted you to talk down to me and tell me I can't do this. And the teacher says, sorry, I can't. So then she just stands there like a belligerent little bitch, eyeballing her until she says, okay, fine. You can't be Tony Stark because guess what? I guess because he's white and he's a man. But then look at this self-satisfying
That is
smirk.
a weird thing to say off the cuff. You can't be Tony Stark. That's a random ass thing.
Well, that's the bad
Of course, you
writing,
can't be another person. You can say, hey, you won't be a billionaire or something like that, or you won't be a shapeshifter or something random, like an actual attribute or an achievement. Of course, you're not going to be somebody else. This is bad writing. Like if she had said you're not going to be Iron Man, that I think would work. But saying Tony Stark is retarded. Tony Stark.
And now, of course, she says, I'm going to be better than Tony Stark. And then, as we know, she goes on to steal Tony Stark's agency.
100%.
Yeah.
Including a title run, and that's titled Invincible Iron Man with her on the front of it.
Mm-hmm. So, right there.
She just steals everything.
She
That's
stole it.
kind of more racist than anything.
She stole it.
She's going to do that in the show. She's going to be a thief in the show.
Well, she was in a Black Panther. That's how she's paying for everything.
Yeah,
so,
she's
yeah.
gonna do more.
In being anti-racist, as with always in Hollywood, they depict way more racist stereotypes.
It's amazing. It's amazing how you can fail that badly from writing to this point. And the idea of whatever Keyshawn was talking about, everyone, let me be clear, everyone I have ever come in contact with has hated Riri Williams. I'm going to repeat myself. It covers different races, colors, creeds, religions, countries. Everyone I've ever come in contact with hates this character. It's got nothing to do with the color of her skin.
There it is. There it is. People don't like Riri Williams because she's a terrible character. It has nothing to do with her being a black girl. Nothing. She's just a terrible character. Plain and simple. But they need to make it about race. And then, Dre, when they come at you about it, oh no, the black man doesn't like it. What are we gonna do? Let's make
so
shit
now
up.
we got to make up something new, because you can't say it's because it's black, because hello. So now there's a new angle, and it's ageism. So basically, I'm an old black man, so therefore I have to, in their opinion, I must suppress the newer, young, idea-driven black people so that I can elevate myself or live in the past to enjoy what was. It's the most ludicrous nonsense I've ever heard. I don't hate this character because she's black. If she was white, a Mexican, an Arab, I would have responded the exact same way. If you're a terrible character or written as such, I'm going to hate you. Period.
Yep.
You just so happen to be black. And one thing I will say about this trailer, and actually somebody commented on my original video about the fact that there's got to be trap music involved.
Oh God!
Every time that there's an urban character, I'm getting real pissed off about that. Why can't we have orchestra? Why can't we have an epic
and it's
theme?
obnoxious too, the way they do it. It's obnoxious.
And I did make a comment, and the guy that made the comment is a Latino guy, and he's like yeah, like what's up with the trap music? I said, why can't we have orchestra? Why can't we have something? Like, we can't have none of that. Every time there's a black character, it's got to be, I'm from the streets. I'm banging mamas. I'm like, yo, bro, no. This is supposed to be an epic story that's being told that isn't supposed to be about an era in which we can just measure. It's supposed to be something of, hey, if I watch this 20, 30 years from now, I'm not going to be able to say, oh, that was 2025 because we got little whoever talking about banging chicks behind the 7-Eleven. I don't care about that. You date yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like that was just one of the things I was like, man, I'm upset. But like the whole thing, I was upset. I wouldn't even, and the thing is, I didn't even complain about the character. The trailer is trash.
It's a
The
jumbled
trailer, it's like 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and the first minute is escape room from
Yeah.
the freaking elevator.
Yeah.
This isn't a trailer.
And
It's because the show has nothing in it.
And here's the problem, as I've heard it described from people who actually know what's been going on with this thing, that this thing has been picked apart and cut back together so many times. That's why it looks like it makes no sense. The whole series has been re-edited, like I believe 4 or 5 times since it's finished. So they're dropping it a 3-episode drop premiere, and then another 3 weeks to finish out the remaining 3 episodes. One episode.
Good.
A week.
6 episodes.
6 episodes.
Just get it out of there.
They should have just done the Echo treatment.
Yep.
Yeah, just shadow.
Well, not to mention they already spoiled their big twist. You already heard?
Yeah, with the leaks.
Mephisto confirmed.
Oh, Mephisto. Yeah. That apparently is old leaks, and nobody just knew about it because nobody cared.
Nobody cared. And this is the thing. Let's just say all of that. I'm pretty sure it's all because they're doing Hood, and that to have Mephisto debut in this is just
makes no sense.
I mean, it's the wrong type of villain. You don't have Iron Man go against the devil.
Not even that. I mean, Drake, Jen just mentioned Mephisto is one of the that's an S tier Omega level threat.
Yes.
Like you need the X-Men, you need the Avengers. And I just love how Marvel responds to everything so very slowly. Because this is the reason he's in the show is because of WandaVision. Everyone was watching WandaVision saying, oh, is this setting up Mephisto? Actually, this is kind of cool. I unfortunately did get drawn into WandaVision. I thought it was interesting until the end. And that was actually what broke me on the MCU. That's when that was the transition project for me. But when the showrunner was asked, hey, are you setting up Mephisto? She goes, who's that? I don't read comics. I don't know who that is. And then Marvel's like, wait, everyone wanted Mephisto to show up in WandaVision? We don't know who that is. Throw him in the next project that we have available. And it's taken them, 5 years to actually do it? By this point, nobody gives a shit.
At all. And not to mention, there was multiple stories that could have featured Mephisto, including not limited to Doctor Strange. No Way Home. No Way Home should have been a Mephisto film. Period.
Yeah, you're getting too close to One More Day when you do that, and let's not bring that bad mojo.
Adam, it's bad. I'm not taking away the quality of how bad that comic is, but the reality of the situation is there's much better stories that could have connected to Mephisto. Yeah. You're gonna drop him in a random television show in which his protege, the Hood, who is minor league, to be fair, is now the featured villain. Use that term loosely. He's a Mexican, so you're pretty sure he's not really a villain. Is going to be featured in an Ironheart show, a show that no one's going to watch and or care about, featuring a character that no one ever knew or care about as a villain that's a major S-tier villain that's not being featured in anything worthwhile. That's crazy talk. Insane. Save it for the X-Men. And then introduce magic and man, I'm just so tired.
Yeah, but they got the worst people already lined up to do the X-Men stuff. They got bad people lined up.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think I don't know who said, maybe it was you, Adam, or maybe somebody else. Kevin Feige and all the people that's there cannot do television.
No, they can't. They cannot. I echoed that. I didn't originally say that. I've echoed that statement.
They're incapable. I mean, incapable of doing television. It's mind-bogglingly terrible. I mean, y'all dropped every single ball. That's tough, man.
It's a general Disney problem. They can't do television outside of cartoons. Once upon a time, they could do cartoon television. Yeah, but they don't it links to the fact that they bring in movie people to do stuff, and they think that movie and television, you can equate this very easily. They think that movie makers can make television. They're two entirely different beasts. Completely.
Just in pacing, if nothing else.
Yeah.
It's just a movie divided up schizophrenically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the thing. They think that a movie guy thinks, oh, I can just make the movie and cut it into parts and put it out as a TV show. No,
Exactly. That's
you
the movie
can't put
guy.
out what is always going to be usually a slow second act and expect that to carry for 2 episodes in 2 or 3 episodes in a season. You can't do that. And then you can't put in, and then you have somebody say, oh, wait a minute, we need to buy time. Do a filler episode. This isn't the era of 20 to 24 episode seasons where filler is expected and accepted.
Yeah, when there's that much content, filler's okay.
When you're doing an 8 to 12 episode season that is taking you 2 years to make, that's also mind-boggling. It's embarrassing how long it takes to make television now. When it takes you that long to make, well, that again, that I think it's inherent of movie people making TV. It takes them forever to make a movie, so it takes them forever to make TV. I just realized, I don't think I've ever heard that said as a connection as why things take so long.
They expect it to take long, so it takes long.
Yeah, I feel smart now. I feel smart for stumbling on that statement. That movie people making TV make it longer because that's what they're used to doing when they make movies. It's that simple. That's one of the reasons it takes so long. I think now. Bam, I'm a genius. Anyway.
No, I agree. It's insane that they're taking 2 years for 8 episodes when back in the day we could get 23 episode seasons yearly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I was just about to make that point. Thank you, Jed.
It's so much more work.
22 to 26 episode seasons of standard television. Every season.
Several shows you can see behind me. TNG, Stargate, and it's a little out of place there, but I love it. The Mentalist. These are shows that put out double-digit episodes into the 20s, except for like the final season of the Mentalist. That was just kind of like an epilogue. They got lucky to give it out.
It's not like it's a hospital show or something like that where it's not that expensive. You don't need
procedural.
It's not, but these shows, Star Trek, a lot of special effects. There's still. I mean, CGI was kind of in its infancy, so not really CGI in most of that. No. But they still have these high-budget shows that require a lot of post-production. And that's what they're using as excuses. Like, oh, yeah, post-production takes a while. They still did it yearly, 20-some-odd episode seasons with heavy special and visual effects.
And at some point in the mid to late 90s, running multiple shows at the same time.
Yeah,
with people working on multiple shows, not just completely different teams.
Sci-Fi Channel, let's go. Sci-Fi Channel doing Stargate and at one point Atlanta same time.
Yep.
After TNG, there was for 30 years in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, 2000s, there was always overlap between 2 different Star Trek shows.
Correct.
DS9 overlaps with TNG for the final 2 seasons. Voyager overlaps with DS9.
Yep.
Now, Voyager ended and Enterprise was kind of on its own when it happened, but and then they were still making movies.
Yep.
Good or bad, they were still making movies.
Yep. It's true.
So,
you mean to tell me that these people that are all part of the same creative teams were able to do this 30 years ago and dropping 26 episodes?
They communicated. We see over and over again evidence. Nobody working on any of these things, they don't communicate. They don't talk. They're in silos. Doing their own things.
They all funneled through Kevin Feige, and he even recently came out and said, I'm so overwhelmed, and everyone's like, it takes us months to hear back from Kevin Feige, and then we have to make a decision ourselves. And then he says, no, that was a bad decision, redo it, because he's incommunicado. Everything funnels through him, and so all these projects are being delayed because of that. There needs to be inter-show communication like you're talking about. Producers need to talk to each other. Different writers need to talk to each other. It should be completely fine for, I know these aren't great examples, but She-Hulk to call up the Daredevil Born Again writers and go back and forth while they're working on those shows. It's
a fair example because they had to completely She-Hulk was so bad they had to eliminate that whole thing from that timeline. Never happened.
And everyone using Kingpin at the same time, like with Hawkeye and Echo and whatnot, and they're all being contradictory and cannot cohesively work together.
You're right. It's dysfunction.
It's Kevin Feige's fault. And I have sympathy for being overworked, absolutely. But he did it to himself. He made himself the focal point of this universe where everything has to go through him. And he's doing too many projects to be able to handle all that. So shit slips through the cracks and it's a mess.
All right. So you say that. Kevin Feige is handling a lot. Well, then maybe he should pay attention to the fact that we are now, as we said before, 2 months away from Baby Steps. Their last chance to make money this year, because let's review. Captain Black Falcon America lost at least $100 to $300 million. Easy. With its real budget. Budget was not 180, real budget 250 to 300 million, which means the break even was likely 650, 700, made only just under 450, around 400, 425, I think. That thing lost at least 200 to 300 million dollars. Easy. All right, failure. Daredevil Born Again. Failure.
My God.
Thunderbolts will lose 100 to 200 million dollars. No, okay, so we're getting close to, we're over $500 million in loss already. Probably more, because we don't know the exact losses that get suffered on Disney Plus. We don't know. But
we just know that they've never once had a profitable show.
Never.
Because it's impossible with their streaming model. It doesn't matter if it's Game of Thrones season 8 numbers could come out on Disney Plus. Wouldn't make a damn bit of difference.
Nope. Game of Thrones, which is once more back on HBO Max. Changed their name again, which we said they should have kept in the first place. Anyway, so we're over $500 million, $500 million in losses already on 3 projects. Now, in just a little over a month, here comes Riri Williams. More losses. We're probably getting close to $1 billion in actual losses because they didn't make it. They spent money and they didn't break even, which means they lose money. Am I stating that correctly, fellas? I'm not saying it wrong. I want to make sure I'm not saying it wrong.
No, that sounds right to me.
Okay. So there it is there. And then here comes Baby Steps. We don't know the budget yet. Minimum $250 with all the special effects.
Oh, yeah. With all the production design as well, all marketing, the 60s aesthetic. The marketing's been big. Yeah, at least $250, I'd say.
I probably think $300. I think it's probably $300. And with the marketing, so this thing needs $650 to $750, maybe even $800 to break even. And I'm on the record. I've said this thing breaks at between $500 $600 million. That's what's going to happen.
I wanted to fail so bad just because Pedro Pascal's in it. I don't even care about anything else. I want Hollywood to stop using that man.
So you mention Internet Daddy Pedro Pascal. You mention him. You would think you want to do everything possible to keep positivity surrounding a movie that isn't being hammered online, but is receiving no excitement. Because my theory that I stated that y'all doubted me on, but I said the equation of excitement for MCU to Baby Steps was going to be in the negative. And here we are, 2 months away. Riri Williams is going to tank it even more. There's no excitement for Baby Steps. There isn't. So you would think you're a star. You would think you would tell him, hey, Pedro, keep a lid on it, man. We know you're an effeminate gay man. We know that you're an idiot. We know that you like to touch people inappropriately on stage because you're anxious, have anxiety. We know all that stuff. But you know what? Keep a lid on it. Don't talk so much. Just smile and nod. Say, watch. You think after Rachel Zegler, who doesn't make money, because let's be honest, Pedro has made them money because he's been in a lot of shit. Well, he's been in a lot of shit. So the average at some point, there's a little money made here and there. Okay. Little money made here and there.
I don't even know what he could have made money in. He's been in a lot of stuff. Gladiator 2 didn't really make money.
But you know what I'm saying, though? He's a known safe quantity for them, is all what I'm saying. So you would think that they tell him, don't be controversial right now. Well, tough shit. Pedro got controversial. Now, we're going to get a little bit political here. But it's because of what we said earlier. We must look at the entire picture of all this. They were quick to shut down Rachel Zegler on her shit. Why aren't they shutting Pedro Pascal down when he is at Cannes saying a ton of political stuff about President Trump, about Republicans, about immigration? Now, we're not going to read the article because I got one better for you. We got the clip.
This is way worse than anything Gina Carano was even accused of, let alone did.
Ever. Let's hear from the mouth of Babes himself. Pedro internet daddy Pascal, sitting next to what the hell's his name? Frick.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. I think Emma Thomas is two people down on this. I can't
Emma
tell.
Stone's been around him
Emma
a
Stone.
lot
Emma
too.
Stone. You're right. Not Emma Stone. Emma Stone. Sorry, you're right. It's Emma Stone. There's too many Emmas out there. I mean, I can't keep track of them all. And I don't know who this is right here. But let's hear what internet daddy Pedro has to say. Can you tell who that is?
I just mentioned it.
I'm not going to say they all look alike. I'm not going to do that. Although I did. Here we go.
I want people to be safe and to be protected. And
Where's his testosterone?
Look at him. Look at him.
He has no testosterone. That is not a man.
No.
That man should never play Joel, one of the most testosterone-filled normal human men in all of video games.
He shouldn't be Reed Richards. Reed Richards, despite all my criticism, is a man. This is not a man. We're not done. We got 30 more seconds of this.
And I want very much to live on the right side of history. And I'm an immigrant.
I want to be on the right side of history. I'm an immigrant.
Joaquin does not look happy.
No, well, he signed everything. He signed off on everything that's been going on lately. He put his name on a certain petition that went out the other day. He put his name on a certain petition. But I mean, Dre. Wow, that's a good pause there, Dre. Would you say Pedro is white passing?
I guess in a Ricky Ricardo kind of way.
Yeah,
I guess.
But he checks the box.
So like if I was walking down the street and saw him, there's a chance like I could assume that he is white.
Yeah,
like Spanish or Italian, I could say.
Like I wouldn't call him Latino. Like I would consider him to be a Spaniard, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense because there's that's two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am an immigrant. I want to be on the right side of history.
I don't think he's an illegal immigrant, though.
No, Jed, that's an excellent point. His parents probably came here legally.
At least he did, I think. They came from Chile. I think he was born here, though.
Well, then he's not an immigrant.
I'd have to look it up, but from what I thought, his parents were immigrants and he was born here.
Okay.
I'm going to look into it.
All right, you look it up, Jerry. We'll go through this.
Refugees from Chile. I myself was a refugee. We fled.
Okay, he says he's a refugee.
Okay.
All right. But still, there are clauses for that.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly they went through the correct channels. Okay?
Dictatorship, and I was privileged enough to grow up in the U.S. and after asylum in Denmark, and if it weren't for that, I don't know what would have happened to us. And so I stand by those protections.
So this, on top of yelling about the president, he's made things very, very political right now in a highly charged political atmosphere.
It's Cannes Film Festival. Talk about the movies.
They don't want to talk
shut about everything else. But when you go to an event, you want that event to be the focus of conversation.
But they don't want to have conversations about.
And he already lied. So apparently his family got political asylum in Denmark and then was transferred to the U.S. So they went through the proper channels. They weren't sitting there crossing illegally from walking from Chile to Mexico to Texas.
And I don't think many people have problems with people who do it legally. That's not a political hot butt issue.
No. We're talking about illegal immigration and all this.
Yeah, his family legally went through the proper channels in order to get asylum and come into the U.S.
But he's equating that with illegal immigration and saying all people need to be protected. He's making political. He's using it as a wedge issue because he believes in commie Marxism to push against President Trump, which makes it political. And what he's doing far outstrips Gina Carano posting meme. Remember, he also was out there calling at that time half the country certain saluting type of people.
That's true.
And that's way more inflammatory than a joke.
So I bring this up. Has Disney once brought the hammer down on Pedro Pascal?
Never.
Has he been threatened with cancel culture and loss of work?
Nope.
No, he just gets job after job after job. So much so that, like Jet said a minute ago before we started this, he's the meme. Here's the next movie starring Pedro, Pascal, and Zendaya because they're in effing everything.
Yep.
They specifically make me not want to watch the movie.
Yes.
I would say that I probably might have watched Gladiator 2 if it weren't for him. There are other things I didn't like about that movie, so I didn't go see it, but that's a big factor. I don't buy him as a Roman general. I don't see him as having the testosterone to lead men into battle.
He'll lead men into certain things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Battle.
It's things that he's doing.
We should ask him what he thinks about the refugees coming from South
That's a good
Africa.
one. Yeah, yep, that's a good one right there. That is correct right there. I see that. But that's the whole point of this, though. Hypocrisy is the name of the game. And Disney, who is in a lawsuit battle with Gina Carano, who is backed by probably some of the best lawyers in the world because they're Elon's lawyers. So they're going to just go until it's over. You would think they would put a muzzle on everybody. Here's a directive from Bob Iger's office. Do not talk about politics. Do not talk about anything that could be put on Gina's case that says, oh, certain people who believe certain ideologies are allowed to say certain things and get away with it. And if you say the opposite and have a different opinion, you will be punished. This just is insane to me. It's happening right before our eyes, and it keeps happening. And I will ask the question, even though I know the answer. I'm asking this for conversational purposes. Why does he keep getting away with it?
Because he's everybody's bottom. That's why.
That too.
I was about to say something like that. Like, he knows what too many genitals look like in Hollywood.
That's all I'm saying. Like, there's no other rational explanation that this can be done. Yes, he's one of the raging leftists, blah, blah, blah. But so is the Snow White broad, and they done buried her so deep, I can't even find her voice nowhere. So this dude has got to be doing unspeakable things in those VIP rooms in order for him to keep on getting this job. And like Adam said, there is not an ounce of testosterone in this man. The moment he starts talking, I want to be on the right side of history. Like, sir, put some bass in your voice. And like, I'm just like, yo, you're soft. I know they're doing unspeakable things to your little pink hole. I know it's just horrible. Just horrible things to your little hole. But good Lord, man, wake up and smell the coffee beans. Gracious, I'm tired of just soft dudes. I'm over that crap. I ain't grow up like that. I ain't grow up in them environments. You gotta put some bass in your voice when you talk to me.
There is a distinct possibility between Baby Steps, Doomsday, and Mando Grogu that Pedro Pascal led projects, or at least maybe Doomsday he's involved. It's really a Robert Downey project because Robert Downey Jr. started.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's involved. There is a chance in the next year and a half, covering 2 fiscal years, things he's involved in will lose probably upwards of between $500 and $700 million because Baby Steps is going to lose probably about $200 to $300 million. It's going to. Mando Grogu is going to lose $200 to $300 million.
Yeah.
And Doomsday, while it probably will look like it makes money, the amount of money, and they're filming in England, so we're going to get those receipts.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get those receipts.
I think the budget's going to be $500 million at least.
Easily.
We know that Endgame cost that much.
Yeah.
We know Endgame cost that. So Doomsday's not going to make $1 billion. It's not.
I think it's going to be have the most gross of the last Marvel movies.
Oh,
I definitely think it's going to get quite a bit of gross, but with how much it costs, I don't think it's going to make any money whatsoever.
So
it's gonna have to make what's the joint, like Avatar numbers in order.
It won't do that.
Yeah,
but that's the only thing to justify this film's existence. It has to make Avatar numbers.
Well, that's why they're pulling out all the nostalgia stops because that's all they have.
Because this film is going to cost upwards to between $500 to $750 million.
Most likely.
It's going to cost an unspeakable amount of money.
Remember, if you split Robert Downey Jr.'s payday, $45 million alone out of that budget is Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
For Doomsday.
and he deserves every freaking penny.
Oh, get your money, dude. Get
Freaking
your money. Get
Like,
your
if
money.
these fools want to pay me a king's ransom to show up for these films, I'd do it. I come out of retirement for that. I'm about to hustle these fools again, and they're not going to get a dime out of it. God bless RDJ. First, he needs to eat a steak. God bless him. But
Yeah,
God, like,
go back
he
and
needs to go ahead and just take their money, because the money's going down the toilet anyway. You might as well get your cut.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
people are dumb.
So they're going to lose a lot of money on things associated with Pedro Pascal in the next year and a half. They're going to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just disappointed that on the TV realm, we won't see that failure as well. At least it'll be put in a positive light, because Last of Us Season 2 is not doing as well as Season 1, and it's only going down since the first couple episodes. And yeah, that is a project attached with him that's, losing popularity. But people just say, oh, it only started to lose popularity after he left the show. So he was actually the thing keeping it alive. I'm going to be so pissed off when I see arguments like that.
I'm already hearing that too. I've already heard that a couple places. And that's a disingenuous argument, because it's the character, it's not him. People like Joel. They don't necessarily like Pedro Pascal as
People like Joel. Yeah, I agree.
He's terrible as Joel.
Yeah, from what I understand. But so here we go. I just wanted to make sure that we shone a little spotlight on this. And I'm sure that Elon's lawyers are all over this right now, drafting up documents for the trial, showing that here is another example in 2025 of Disney bias, where Pedro Pascal is allowed to get political, say highly charged political statements, attacking a sitting president, attacking fans, attacking customers, and he has not been punished. In fact, he is going to be your poster boy for the next 2 years in projects.
Oh, Disney's just going to say...
I'm sorry. Just real quick. I just looked at the numbers. Since 2020, when he became a lead man, in films alone, he's been in 16 movies.
What?
Jesus
fuck. So the meme really is real. The meme is real.
16. Since
now, how many of them made money?
Now, that's a different question. That's a different question.
I mean, in all seriousness, butt jokes aside, how does this man get all this work? He's not that good. But I mean, he's not that
it's
good.
It's the same role he does anymore. He had one role in Game of Thrones that I think was good, and after that, he's played the same role in everything I've seen him do.
He was a cuck in The Mentalist. Jane cucks him in The Mentalist, and I loved every second of it.
That did happen.
And that's back in 2015. So this is an enigma.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He's not a leading man. He's not. Does he give you the aura of a Denzel Washington?
He's hugging himself.
He's hugging himself. He has no aura of the Denzel. He doesn't have.
Why he's doing it? Because if he touches any of those other dudes acting, they got to punch him in the face.
They will punch him in the face. Joaquin already looks like he's ready to kill him. And I don't know who that black guy is, but I know he's from the streets. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to go well. It's not going to go
it's not like Vanessa, what's her name, who will grip him on stage and let him hold her hand and her arm and she'll stroke him. It ain't like that. No, they will smack his piddly ass.
Yeah, like those are grown men that's seen life. That's not. They're not going to sing Kumbaya.
Joaquin's not right in the head.
No,
he's a crazy man.
No, he's unstable.
Yeah.
You better leave that man alone.
Yeah. So this is an enigma that I don't know if it'll ever be truly answered until he's gone, and maybe we get a tell-all book or some shit like that. So Pedro, oh my God, go away already! For God's sake, just go away.
I just think Disney's going to, if they're criticized and they decide to respond to this whole thing, we'll just say what Bob Iger said a few years ago with the Florida stuff is, we don't see getting involved in politics as being about politics. It's about human rights. And that's the justification he used for a lot of the stuff in Florida. And I think he's going to go to that well again and not realize the hypocrisy of it. But Hollywood is just so out of touch. Every single one of them don't understand what the general people want. I don't know if you guys heard what Seth Mick, something like that, a comedy actor said recently about why theaters or why movies are failing at the box office. He says it's not Hollywood's fault. He says it's not the movie's fault. It's that unless you're in a big blue city, all the theaters are crap and they smell funny and this technology's from the 90s. And so no one wants to, and it's not even the price. He's like, people don't want to spend any money whatsoever on stinky theaters. So that's why movies are failing. That it's the movie theater's fault that they won't upgrade outside of the big cities.
True. Movie theaters there's normal movie theaters everywhere. That's a retarded statement.
Not only is that statement retarded, that's also demeaning. Like I've always said, there's only one ism that actually matters, and that's classism. That's the only ism that's ever mean anything, and that's a very elitist thing to say. To say that the reason why our movies aren't selling well is because there's some dingy, dirty, poor places that don't upgrade their stuff. That's not true at all. I'm old enough to remember before the last drive-ins closed, and I used to enjoy going to the drive-ins when I was a little kid. I used to go with my grandparents. It used to be great. Like we would go and have a good time. Those drive-ins, was there old tires sitting in the middle of the joint? Maybe. Was there maybe some old metal, broken glass bottles, maybe a few crack pipes? It's a possibility. All these things are possible. But guess what? We were immersed. There's the word. In what's going on the screen. So the idea that it's anybody's fault except Hollywood's, you've blamed everyone. You blame the fans, you blame the economy, you blame AMC theaters, you blamed everyone except the fact that your product is garbage, and the overwhelming majority of people have moved on to other things. People are playing video games or going back and buying DVDs from yesteryear. People have found another avenue for their entertainment. No one wants to be indoctrinated into your weird leftist cult foolishness. And now it's over. It's over. And just accept the fact that you failed as a company and as a people. You failed. But now, do you have a chance to learn? You won't, but you have a chance to learn and actually make any changes. But if you point the fingers at poor places, you're just a piece of trash. You need to go.
That's right. All right. So we talk about movies doing well and doing poorly, and these things do poorly because of the movies, not because of theaters, not because of everybody else. The movies aren't good, and we're gonna find out very soon. 2.5 months, actually no, less than 2 months. I keep forgetting because we're now almost a baby steps window. We have a triple threat match coming in July. We got dinosaurs versus Superman versus baby steps.
Yep.
We're gonna take dinosaurs, even though a new teaser trailer dropped today. We're taking dinosaurs out of the equation with the Downsasaurus Rex, as people are calling it now, and baby steps. We've talked babies enough, so we're gonna talk about the second round thing. Go ahead.
Can I show you guys something very, very briefly about Pedro, since we're talking about baby steps? This is another shot from Cannes, and people are thinking that this happened because of the Elon salute that happened. If you want to pull this up.
Okay.
I think he got punched in the face after this.
Oh no. Like you said, you don't be touching Joaquin like that. He's a crazy man.
Don't do that. You don't do that.
You don't grab another man like that if he ain't your buddy.
You don't touch Joaquin Phoenix. You don't do that.
That is a man who twists his brain to become roles. You don't do that.
Well, look how he's waving though. It's so bad.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
And Joaquin's wave isn't even that bad. It's his left hand.
He was just going like this. He was just waving around. He was turning his body as he waved.
He's like, hey, you can't point your... How you going to put your hand on another man and say, I can't point my hand the way I want to point my hand?
And then go for it. And then he's splaining to him. He's splaining to him.
Like, you can't do that.
He's pissed.
Oh, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, that's a... Dude, God.
Joaquin Phoenix... He is a leading man. He can hold his own as a lead in the movie. He can do that.
Yes, Joaquin Phoenix is a leading man.
Yeah, he does weird shit. Let's not say the movies he does with leading man is usually weird shit. But he can carry a movie. Pedro
he's always in the freaking awards because he's that good.
Pedro has no business touching him like that. He has
no business being in the same room as him.
Yeah. So, damn, man. I bet after he probably got in his face and said, "Motherfucker, you don't touch me again."
Yeah, pretty much. You know
Don't touch me again. We are done. You get I'm here. You're there. You come near me again. My foot is in your ass.
Yeah, man.
Pedro
like
probably
that.
cried after that.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't touch
my
that king.
God.
Oh my God.
All right, but what we will touch is Superman.
Oh.
I had no other choice but to phrase it like that.
Oh
But yes,
God.
back in
I was
there.
hoping you'd bring up like the Jurassic Park one, so you'd like tie it into ScarJo. It's like we will touch ScarJo, but no, it's just like I
I'm
want
gonna
to touch
make it-
Superman.
No, we're gonna touch
Listen,
Superman.
No,
Apparently.
you don't understand. Listen. I don't care anymore. During Daily Dive last week, when we were watching some horrible, retarded shit, I said so many gay innuendo phrases.
Oh my
Kratos
God.
came away with like half a dozen clips of me saying the gayest shit possible.
Were some of those on Among Us last night? Like
Yes.
yeah.
By our powers combined, we are gay.
Dre.
I mean,
Oh
Dre, there
my.
were some bad ones, like descriptive, explicit sexual acts.
we were watching these videos and they were doing those things, and I was commenting on it. Not
Whoa,
really.
They were
whoa,
doing
whoa.
what?
What? Whoa!
It was
Whoa.
flash gits. It was flash gits, and they do weird shit in those tunes. And I was commenting on
Why are you watching gay
Because
porn
they're
on
paying-
Daily?
because they're paying me to.
You have a rule against porn.
It's not porn. You didn't actually see Goku's butthole.
Oh my God.
It's flash gits.
Oh.
It's flash gits. It's crazy shit, and it's furry.
You
there's
have
furry shit
no
in there,
right
too.
to complain or act like you're not into all this stuff because you have
Listen,
choices.
Go watch the show. I don't have choices. So you help me craft this damn show. Don't tell me I have choices.
And I let you make the no corn rule.
It is no porn. There's no actual porn.
Adam, you're
It's
a
flash
prostitute.
gits. It's on
Yeah,
YouTube.
you're just a prostitute. You
on
can't
YouTube.
complain about what people are making you do when you're
You're
willingly
a
doing stuff
filthy
like this.
whore
hmm
behind the 7-Eleven on 17th Street.
Hey,
Have
you
you
know what?
shit.
At least I ain't-
Pedro's jealous of your.
At least I ain't a throat goat, okay? At least I ain't a throat
Oh.
goat, all right?
Oh,
All right.
God.
All right, but listen, all seriousness. All right, so Superman. They dropped the trailer. That was the biggest thing this week.
Yes,
Superman
absolutely.
trailer. And that was the big week. And I will the objective side of me will say it has been received mostly well.
Yes, it is.
People have liked it, but Dre, I'm going to give you the floor for the first
Sure.
part of this.
Sure.
Before I say that, though, people have liked it, but it hasn't necessarily moved the needle. And it's and
Okay.
the general reception has been, It's not been outside a few shills. I've seen no one's going, yeah. No one's doing that.
I'll agree with that.
No
I'll
one's
agree.
doing that. You've got the majority who have liked it is Matt, and then there's the other side of it. We are a minority. Those of us who are very, and for me, it's been piling on. This is like the months of James criticisms piling on where I've now reached my thought. And I'm going to say a couple controversial things at the end of this.
Sure.
I will. And and at this point, I'm going to say it because I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm ready to be the bad guy in certain statements. But Dre, you were okay with this.
Yes. So let me maybe quantify a few things. At the end of my review, I actually said exactly what you said. I said, did this move the needle for me? No, but I said I'm already going to go see this film anyway. I'm already going to go see this film anyway. So like it didn't really move the needle for me if it made me feel better about it or not. But I believe that this trailer did what it was supposed to do.
Okay, explain.
So this trailer was literally the only chance this joint had to display anything worthwhile as far as Superman content is concerned. I wanted to see Superman doing Superman things. And that's what this trailer gave me for the most part. I had a real problem with this opening scene in regards to the interview, because that's not how Superman acts.
Okay,
I had a very big problem with that.
Do you know how long this scene is in the movie? Have you heard how long this scene is in the movie?
I do not know how long that scene is.
10 minutes.
That's a waste of my time. But
this scene is 10 minutes.
Yeah, this scene I hated because this is not how Superman acts.
And not Clark Kent either. And it's not Clark either. It's not Clark Kent.
Yep, because he has had intense interviews with Lois, G. Gordon Godfrey, everybody in these stories. He's had intense. He always had a quiet dignity about himself. So this one, I was like, hey, I don't like that at all. I did not like that. But as far as the rest of the trailer was concerned, as far as showing me action sequences and seeing Superman actually be heroic, seeing him actually do things, fight villains, fight kaiju, like all those type of things that would, if this was a normal world, would have gotten me excited to watch the film. That's what I was saying. Like, hey, I believe this trailer. Like, if somebody, here's what I'll say: if somebody was on the fence, like not somebody that's like, hey, I don't care what they do, I'm not coming, or whatever. If somebody was on the fence, like I might see it, I might not. I think this trailer gives somebody enough to be like, hey, I'm interested in seeing Superman do Superman things. God knows what the plot's gonna be, but we're interested in Superman doing Supermaning. I think that's what a lot of people are itching for, because that's one of the things that was missing from the Snyder version. That was completely missing. Even the Ralph version, 2006 Superman. We have him saving the plane, but that's about it. Like, there's no Superman doing Supermaning things. So they're trying to bring that to the forefront. I didn't like the Justice League stuff. I really think that shouldn't even be in this film. I don't care about no Green Lantern. I don't want to see Hawkgirl. I don't want to see Mr. Terrific. I don't want to see any of these characters. I just want to see Superman doing Superman things in a Superman movie. I can guarantee my glorious collection that I have behind me that this film is going to be used just to catapult all these different characters so they can have 8 different movies and TV shows from it, which it should not be the point of a Superman film. But I digress. I believe the trailer did what it was supposed to do.
Okay.
And for that, I'm like, hey, it's a decent enough trailer. It's good enough. I think it's the first. Honestly, I think this is the best trailer in general that we've gotten for a superhero content in years.
Mhm.
I believe this is the best trailer we have received, period, in years when it comes to that. So for those reasons, why I thought this trailer did what it's supposed to do.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I see where you're coming from with saying it did what it was supposed to do, and the people who might be convinced, because those are people, and I'm gonna say they're normies.
Yes, 100%.
What you described would be a normie reaction of what you
100%.
do.
Yes.
And we are not normies.
No, we're not
normies. I mean, we are nerds. I'm a nerd who knows the stuff. You know the Superman lore probably even better than I do at this point. I will happily say that. I'm not a hardcore Superman nerd, but I know enough, and I know enough to definitely be dangerous in conversations.
Absolutely.
Point is, though, I'm going to push back. Now,
go for it.
We're not going to play this because Warner Brothers are dicks.
Yes, they are.
And no one deserves to suffer through that opening scene again.
Yeah,
but
that's rough.
We will cover this. Now, I have no problem with her as Lois. Frankly, I think the lowest part of this was fine because that is Lois Lane. And also, she hot. She hot. We've seen her assets on display. She hot. Now,
I don't know what she's wearing, but I agree.
Yeah, well, in this one, it's very just down. They're hiding her goods. She's got goods. Point is, but what we have a problem with is this man right here.
I agree.
If he can't control his emotions in an interview with a woman he's interested in to this degree and show anger in front of her, of all people, then I don't trust him not to lose his cool in battle and get somebody killed. Like, Superman has to show restraint in all his fights, or at least most of his fights when he's not dealing with super overpowered people, because he can just decimate them. Yep. And if he has this little control in a conversation with Lois, I don't trust that he's going to have a amount of self-control when he's fighting a normal bank robber and not just disintegrate that man into a mist of blood.
And those are great nerd points, but I'm going to step back, and my points are not about nerd. My points are this entire trailer. The reason I despise this trailer, because it just compounds and adds to my belief that James Gunn doesn't understand Superman. Because this whole thing right here is about this war that we see with the little kid with the flag and this, that. That's what this is about. Him going across borders. Are you representing America or not? All this shit that shouldn't be a part of it. And then him melting down and saying, I was saving lives. Dre, I pose this to you. I've been waiting. I said this when I did my reaction, and I'm going to put this to you. There's a war going on.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how I believe Superman, as I understand him, would behave. And I want you to corroborate or disagree.
Agree. Go on.
War happens. Superman does not go in and actually engage with the troops to stop them fighting. Superman will protect the civilians first from collateral damage. And when the battle between two sides, neither of which he will take a side of, are done, and he has helped make sure the civilians survive, he would then walk in and say, okay, guys, let's stop this. I will mediate because I'm Superman. And I have no, even though I represent truth, justice, the American way, which is what he should be representing there, freedom and peace, I will not take a side and I will now mediate. You can work through me. Let's get this done to protect civilians. Isn't that, to me, is how Superman behaved, not crying about I was saving lives and getting in the middle of a fight, as we might see him do.
Absolutely. So yes, what you're saying is absolutely correct. That is how Superman would operate. And even if there was especially once again, I don't know the plot of this film because I don't think
none of us do. None of us do. We have fakes and theories at this point.
I'm going to assume, based on what's happening with the interview and stuff, this is between two warring nations in which there is no good guy, bad guy. They're just two warring nations over an ideology.
It's Fuckistan A fighting with Fuckistan B.
Exactly. That's what I have to. That's the only thing I can assume. I'm going to assume this isn't like some forces that Lex is manipulating or something. I'm going to assume that this is just people having war.
Yeah.
Superman will go to everything you said, 100% correct. The only thing that was missing from what you're saying is that Superman will go to that country's leader. He will go to that country's leader and say, hey, I've already saved these civilians. Let's see if we can negotiate a peace. Yep. That is how Superman operates.
Yep.
Whatever's going on here, I'm going to assume that he went down there and started breaking faces on somebody's side. I'm going to assume that's what's happening in this film.
Yeah.
Since no one's revealed any plot, I have to fill it in myself. Because other than that, the whole trial of Superman and all the crap won't make any sense.
And now I'm making the case of why I'm bothered. So we have a possible representation of Superman and how he wouldn't act. But then now let's look at, once again, James Gunn doesn't understand the relationship of Lois and Clark. Right now, they are clearly they've been knocking boots for at least a year, probably at this point.
Oh, they're having super sex.
They bouncing. They bouncing. They doing the Humpty dance. Now, what's going on here? Clark knows Lois at this point. He knew her before. She's probably interviewed him before.
Yep.
He knows Lois Lane is a hard-nosed interviewer. That's what she does. Okay? Clark Kent is no slouch as an investigative reporter himself. He is also a journalist. He wouldn't react like this as Clark Kent or Superman.
Well, the best way for Lois to protect him is to ask him the hard-hitting questions so he can address the difficult things that other people would ask. It's preparing him, if nothing else, for real interviews that he'll have. And yeah, he should absolutely know as a journalist himself, hey, the way that you answer hard questions answers more than the content of what you're saying. Agreed. This just makes him sound like he's guilty and trying to defend himself.
And it makes him
look guilty. Mm-hmm.
So like I'm saying, like this scene right here made me very, very uncomfortable because this is a scene in which, like, everything you're saying, 100% correct. These are two veterans of journalism communicating with each other. Now, Grant Clarkson is Superman persona, but you're still a journalist.
Yeah.
And you're freaking out and yelling and screaming and having a tantrum. So when this is posted in the Daily Planet, how are people supposed to view you? And that goes to your point, Adam. James Gunn doesn't understand how Superman works.
So we have two instances now. We've got in this first
this is
minute.
Just retarded Sokovia Accords too.
Yep.
Well, it's another version. Yeah, that's another layer to this. So in this first minute, we've got two instances, which tells me James Gunn doesn't understand how Superman would behave in an instance, and he doesn't understand Lois and Clark. So I'm already pissed off a minute in.
That's
now
fair.
we get to stuff where you say you saw him doing things. My biggest problem begins with the fact that we have. Let me get to it right here. I'm going to play it for a second just to get to see it. I'm tired of James Gunn putting Superman in the ground.
It's fine to have him be weak in a few moments of the trailer, but it feels like we've had like one or two heroic Superman moments, and then 100 defeated Superman moments. It's just, I think it's bad marketing. Even if, like I said, with him being defeated in the snow in the previous trailer, I think this scene could work in context, but repeatedly showing Superman, the paragon of strength that he is, defeated like this makes me not want to see the film. I don't know if you guys have seen Perry Chan's edit of the trailer.
No, I know it's out. I haven't seen it yet.
It's fucking phenomenal. Just focusing on him saving the day, mixing in all the few positive moments from the trailers, and doing the best to make him look heroic. I need to see heroic Superman. All right, him saving like 2 people in all these trailers is not enough. That should be the central focal point of all the trailers, is seeing Superman saving people.
And
that's marketing 101 for Superman. It's the most obvious thing in the world.
I don't need to see a regular Joe who just happens to be a brown man helping him up. Everybody else has been, no, let's get the immigrant to show the immigrants helping up the alien immigrant. I don't care what your messaging is there. I don't want to see a regular person helping up Superman. I don't care if it's showing that people still support him. Superman should be getting up on his own. I don't care what he was fighting here. And I don't like weak-looking Superman, especially when it's just a regular knockdown fight. I'm trying to just get to it here. I don't like this. It's not like Kryptonite's involved here and he's getting weak. He took a hit. He's going to get right back up because he's Superman.
And if he's going to get hit, I want to see that classic shot of a hero down, beat, and getting up on his own. That is way more impactful and emotionally compelling than showing us 20 scenes about a dog and random humans picking him up when he's too weak. And give us one shot of him picking himself up. Just one, for the love of God.
So, I mean, we get a section of that, and then now you can call me nitpicking, but I'm a nerd. I'm going to nitpick. The rest of the trailer, and this is why it feels like a muddled mess to me with all the different aspects they're putting in there. We've got the Hammer of Barovia, which, is this a real thing or is it something they made up? I don't know.
It is a real thing. It is a real thing, and that was the idea. Now, I can't remember which issue, but I believe it was the idea of Russian Superman before they did the before Red Sun and all that other stuff came out. It's from I think it's Golden Age. I'm pretty sure it's Golden Age. I'm pretty sure it's Golden Age Superman. So it is a real character, niche, obviously, but it is a real character.
Never heard
but so I'm not sure how they're inculcating it. Once again, that's one of okay. Now this might be the idea of intrigue. Now I don't know what James Gunn is trying to do. That man's a wild man. But all I can assume is he's trying to give us enough intrigue to want to get butts in seats. Now, I've already committed to have my butt in the seat, so that doesn't apply to me. But the idea of like, hey, we're going to plant this seat, like, oh, how this character get there? How this character get there to try to drum up enough intrigue to get somebody to come into the theater. I don't know how we get to this point because I still don't know what this movie's even about.
But Dre, all right, you say that intrigue, but here's the problem. Hammer of Barovia, Lex Luthor. Now we revealed Lady with the spinning blade hands, the Engineer, Ultraman, possibly Metamorpho for a moment because it looks like Metamorpho is holding kryptonite or maybe making kryptonite in that scene. Add in the U.S. government. Add in maybe a couple more things here and there. We're over 5. Let's add in the D League there. They're not going to really want to work with him either. They might be antagonistic him. We're looking at over maybe between 5 and 10 antagonistic forces to Superman in one movie.
How much time will they have for Superman himself in his own movie?
This is what I'm talking about here. It's muddled because how many problems is he going to be fighting? That's why I'm saying James Gunn is putting in so much that he's drowning out his main character. And then you get more of this line here, hey, big guy, up the kaiju too. Got put the kaiju in there. Yeah, kaiju fight, cool, but it's in here. I mean, who's even talking to right here? This doesn't feel like a Superman line. People are praising the scene. Oh,
that's Marvel humor.
Yeah, it's James Gunn bullshit.
It's James Gunn. That's the James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy crazy.
Yeah, and then we got
Crypto's way more heroic in all these trailers than Superman has even had a chance.
CGI dog. CGI dog.
That's weird looking.
And then of course, Trailer Park Clark.
Where's
The
this
double wide.
farm?
The double wide. That we talked about this at the beginning of the week before the trailer dropped. That James Gunn admits it's not Kansian Farm, it's his version, Missouri Farm, where they live in trailer park double wides. You're sucking the core out of Clark Kent of Kent Farm. And while I'm okay with this actor who's playing Pa Kent, Jed and I have talked about him in the past other movies. He's fine. And Nicholas Hoult may be a good Lex Luthor. I don't know. He might have
Definitely an improvement over Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, yeah,
everyone's an improvement. Over Jesse
I saw a
Eisenberg.
tweet saying that Jesse Eisenberg was the best superhero adaptation of all time.
Yeah,
in BBS.
Who said that? His mama? I mean,
but he might be a simple. We don't know, and I get the. And I said this before. I don't think Lex Luthor belongs to this movie. Can we get a movie without Lex Luthor in it?
with all these other villains, I'll agree. There's no need to have Lex.
And then we got this. Look at this.
Now,
Oh my God!
This is where we have our problem here. This is where we have our problem.
CGI nightmare.
And I have a big issue. Like I've been on record several times. I don't want to see any Justice Leaguers, period, in a Superman standalone film.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be launching a new DC universe. Not to mention, oh, God, man.
Not to mention, I'm trying to find right here. Let me play it for a second. Let me go back. I'm going to play it for a second just so you see it.
That's
not how construct works.
That's not how that works. Yeah. That's not
how construct works.
Yeah.
It should be coming out of his hand. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's going through his feet under the ground. No.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
And then some people said that it's cute. I do not like the Martha Kent here. I'll go get your boots. They're in the back. Little too rednecky. That's not.
It's trailer park white trash.
Dre, do you understand why I'm angry now? It just keeps piling on.
Adam, you are the worst.
It's just piling on.
Why we got trailer park trash Martha Kent up in here? Where's my tobacco?
and then no.
No, this I hated. I hated this too. I hated that nonsense humor.
Is he just recovering at home? Is he still living there? Is he living with Lois? I don't know.
He's still living with his parents, I think. Sad Superman.
So, I mean, do you understand why I despise this trailer? Because it's not because I hate the Superman content. I hate what James Gunn is doing. And here's my controversial statement. Here's my controversial statement. Everybody's saying right now, oh, I want this to be good. I'm going to be the bad guy. I don't want this to be good anymore.
Oh.
I don't. I don't, because it's legitimizing James Gunn butchering shit.
Oh,
I'm tired.
Well, Dre, you often told Adam that he's a fool for having hope.
Oh no, I don't disagree with him.
Okay.
I don't disagree with him on, but DC has already died, Adam. DC's been dead a long time.
This isn't maybe having not having hope. I'm beyond wanting it to be good because I've seen so much of James Gunn just doing this for James Gunn. Look, in the middle of the fucking trailer, the only shot we have of a name in this. Don't know. Damn it. The only shot we have is here. Here it is. From director James Gunn. It's the only line, the only name we get thrown in this whole goddamn thing is James Gunn. Nobody else gets any credit. None of the cast and the actors. Nobody.
Even Cornswallow doesn't get any.
Cornswallow.
I've been calling him that for a while. That's all I'm going to call him.
I call him Corn Sweat or Corn Swallet.
That's his name. Oh God, that's right. His name is
Corn is. I'm sick of James Gunn now. I am sick and tired of James Gunn because James Gunn only cares about James Gunn. He made this movie for himself. He didn't make this for fans. And that is why I'm tired of that's why I've abandoned the belief of I want this to be good. Because if it gets success, you're affirming James Gunn's belief system. Make this for yourself. Don't make it for the fans. That's where I am.
Adam, I think you're just so jaded at this point that you just can't see past your own hatred. Look, I get what you're saying. James Gunn is obnoxious, in my personal opinion. He's an obnoxious director, and he likes to smell of his own farts, and that's his business. I want this film to be good because I just want good content. I just want good content. And I want this film to do well because I want to see superheroes do well again. Put that.
And that I understand because that's your top tier thing. That's what
Yeah,
you love the most.
that's my home.
That's a fair point. I understand that.
Yes, and Adam, DC has already died. Like I told you, everything has to die in order for anything to come back. DC has been dead a long time. Now it's finally a new era, and I use those terms very loosely, for a chance to actually make DC good for the first time ever. I saw for sprinkles like the first Wonder Woman movie, or that's about it. But so I want this movie to do well. I want this movie to be good. Now, do I believe this movie is going to be good? No, I'm not a moron. But at the same time, I want this film to go well. I know this joint is just going to be a catapult for a bunch of other DC schlock until we get to a legitimate Batman movie at some point. I just want this to do well. And not just financially, but critically. I want this film to be like, hey, I want fans, DC hardcores, I want us to be able to go there and enjoy ourselves. Is it going to be accurate? God, no. But I want us to be able to go there and enjoy ourselves and not have everything be besmirched. Now, to your credit, like what you're saying, Adam, seeing Superman on his back all the time does not bode well. Mm-hmm. It does not bode well seeing a downtrodden Superman. We've seen that already. We've already seen Snyder do that downtrodden, dark Superman stuff. We don't need that. We need truth, justice, and the American way, and we need a brighten, uplifting type of Superman story. But from what we're seeing a lot, what we're seeing a lot is the public hates him and all that other stuff. Like a lot of negativity. I'm hoping, once again, I'm pulling an Adam, Jed. I'm pulling an Adam. I'm hoping that is the first act. I'm hoping that the first act is everybody's like, Superman, you shouldn't have helped people because liberalism, like whatever. Like I want that to be the first act, and then we get to some real villainous stuff, and then everybody's like, "Oh snap, we need Superman in our lives," and then we go flying.
But what if it is true that they're calling him super shit online because Lex Luthor has an army of interdimensional monkeys being trolls?
Don't do that. Don't.
But that's that was the lure leak from a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
And just to put salt in the wound, this is the suit we're getting.
Okay, to be fair, the crest is my favorite crest. That's Kingdom Come Superman.
He hasn't earned this crest yet.
Earned it. Adam, hold on. Let me tell you.
Earned that yet.
You're right. He hasn't earned
this
it.
Is like year 2 or 3 at this point.
Yes, this is baby Superman, but he does have my favorite crest. So I'm giving
the lines and
yes, that's from that Rebirth, as a cross between Rebirth, New 52, and then again the crest from Kingdom Come. That is the work of the costume. Do I like the costume? Not really, but I like the crest. I like the draws on the top,
and a lot of it has to do with copyright issues because of the rights to Superman are going to be public domain soon. The original, a lot of public domain stuff is going to happen soon. So
I'm sure. Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, it's
so they wanted to make something unique enough that they could copyright it.
Yeah. So point is that this just salt in the wound. It doesn't look good. I mean, let me see if I get the like here. I think we see this point right here.
And I just hope to the love of God that Pa Kent dies, at least from something outside of Superman's control. I don't want no twister and be like, hey, you shouldn't save people sometimes because reasons.
There we go.
I want Pa Kent to die from like a terminal illness because that means something.
The trunks are fine, but just the overall look, the aesthetic of the suit is just, it doesn't flow well to me.
I think all the blue sections are the problem.
Because it's a combination of 3 different eras.
Yeah,
combined.
Which is what you said. Yeah, and this could still be Ultraman, Bizarro. Somebody said that was Mercy, but no, it's the Engineer. There's Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. So I mean,
Yeah.
I am, and this movie is not going to do well. It's not going to be good. I'm saying it right now. It's not going to be good. This thing, this trailer is a mess. Look at everything going on here, and right now, I've heard people say they're mirroring Snyder.
I agree.
A lot of mirroring of Snyder going on here from actual moments and the this and that. What's going on here?
That's why I'm putting my hope, a little bit of hope I have, that this is first act. That's all I can.
Well, it has to be because the suit ain't tarnished yet. Because we see his suit's gonna suffer battle damage at one point, and he's gonna be still sad. But all I'm saying is this: I'm tired of. I'm tired of wanting this to be good because I don't think James Gunn has the goods. And if this is the launch pad for what they're going to do, God help us. I mean, apparently, and there's a rumor that was said on FNT, so I'm going to say it here because it's rumor that the post-credit scene involves earmuffs. If you don't want to hear this, anybody, earmuffs. The post-credit scene involves Hal Jordan and Brainiac. And
oh boy.
And at the same time, remember, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are walking down a dirt road right now in civvies from that screenshot we got of that show, which is just taking place on Earth. And it's just going to be used unnecessarily to have Hal Jordan elevate Jon Stewart, which is completely unnecessary. You don't need Hal Jordan to elevate Jon Stewart. They're the two most badass Green Lanterns out there.
That's correct.
In human sector. So, I mean, it's just,
but this is what I will say.
Yeah.
James Gunn, I look, I'm not a fan of his. I never have been. Like, I like the first Guardians movie.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians 2, I thought was a complete waste. And Guardians 3 was a decent film, all things considered. But everything that he's done with DC, it's been mediocre to trash. That's just that's just the reality.
Creature Commandos.
No one knows what that is. Nobody watched that show. Nobody referenced it.
Peacemaker season 2. Did you watch that trailer?
Nope. I have no desire to watch anything that is television related. I'm not interested in. Even the first season of Peacemaker was a waste of my time. That show was a big old waste of nothing. Nothing happened, nothing accomplished, nothing got connected, and then they slashed the universe, so it didn't really happen. Enough. Focus on the films. Just focus on the films.
Yeah, well,
True TV.
We got Supergirl after this with Lobo.
Oh, Woman of Tomorrow. Oh.
Lobo.
I heard a rumor that it's Supergirl in that Hammer of Bolivia suit or whatever that is.
I heard that rumor too. I think that's bullshit.
I think it'd be hilarious if it was, though.
If it is, then you're just making my point even harder.
If they Adam, don't speak that into existence, please. Because if
I'm not the one to make it up.
If she's in that suit, I'm walking out of the theater. I'm telling you, I'm walking out and I'm going to demand my money. I'm going to the Regal stand and be like, "Listen, sir, give me my money," because these people just lied to me right there. James Gunn owes me money. I'm gonna pull a South Park. I'm gonna go all the way to James Gunn's house. I want my money. I want my money, James Gunn. Hey, I'm hoping and praying that we get some decency.
You made a couple minutes ago. The evidence is mounting that this movie is not going to be good.
And once again, Adam, I am not in agreement with you at all in that front. All I'm saying is that the trailer itself gave me enough to not justify my money, obviously not, but I'd already committed already. But it gave me enough to be like, hey, there's Superman stuff happening in a Superman film. If there was somebody that was like this, it would lean them towards
a normie will say yes.
And that's what I'm talking about.
But the stands and the cope I've seen though for people who are over exaggerating what happened in the trailer in the positive, it's serious cope. And I don't care. And then on the opposite side, the Snyder Bros are too harsh on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
they're just butthurt. I
feel like my disgruntledness is in the middle and fair. I'm not being too hater, but I mean, I'm being nerd angry is what I am.
You
I'm
are nerd angry, and you got beef with James Gunn, which I'm
No,
saying
at this
is
point,
also
at this point, I do.
yes.
I didn't have any beef with him before this. This movie is giving me beef because I don't like the way he's treating it. That's my beef.
He's the wrong creator for Superman.
Agreed.
You should have
100%.
let someone else do it. You got to be able to
100%.
recognize your own shortcomings.
Yeah, I agree with that 110%. He's not the right guy to do Superman. I agree with that 110%.
Orlando, they probably did that because that was the tag they were using for the previous round of DC animated stuff.
Yeah,
they already used it recently. That's probably why they aren't saying Man of Tomorrow. They did that already recently.
Yes,
and it's too fresh. They can't.
And I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot that was coming down the pipeline. I completely forgot. I'm hoping to the old gods and the new that they don't base it off that stupid comic.
Oh, Woman of Tomorrow! It is. It is. Millie Alcock is holding it in a behind-the-scenes picture. She's holding it. She's holding it.
That run was trash.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, there we go. Okay, that was a little more civil than I thought it would be. I thought we'd be a little more angry with each other. We're not. That was a civil discussion.
You were angry. You.
Anyway, we are at the 2-hour mark. And Jed, before we go, though, do you have those Doctor Who overnights?
I do. And I was right about some of the plot stuff that were happening in this episode, but unfortunately, I was very wrong about how the viewership was going to go for this week.
Did their marketing campaign work? It worked?
What do you think it's going to be? Because I thought that real
Eurovision... I said it was
going
to be 1-3. I said it was going to be 1-3. That's what I said.
Eurovision was that same night, as well as some big football game in the UK. I thought the competition was going to be so rough that they weren't going to get really anything whatsoever. Unfortunately, it looks like the opposite is true, that people were already watching TV and just left it on or turned on Eurovision early and watched this episode, because the overnight viewership for this episode of Doctor Who was 2.57, the highest of the season. Still among the lowest 10, 15 overnight for all of Doctor Who across 60 years, but unequivocally the highest viewed episode of this season.
Is that
wouldn't it be the highest of last season? I don't think there's still shooty episodes.
I'm shocked.
We're seeing more.
I thought that this was going to be a ratings nightmare because of the competition.
At this point, since we're leading into the finale now, and this episode was the one that I thought would drop the lowest, I don't think we're seeing below 1 this time. I think we might get down. I think we're going to get back down to 1.5. I don't think we're seeing 1.3 even.
Man, I still wanted to be right about that. Hey, look, got that one wrong. Got that one wrong.
I was very wrong. I
thought
this would be the worst of the season.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but these numbers are still terrible.
Oh, it's still
absolutely.
Trash.
It's like the 10th. It's in the lowest 10 bracket of the worst episodes of all time.
Shooty still owns that. Yeah.
It's still the highest of the season, though. So this is the best of the worst.
I mean, Dre, it's like the shit on top of your shoe that's not on the bottom. You know, you scraped it off, and it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still shit.
Oh, yes,
it's still terrible.
But they're going to use it as an excuse to say, see, people like it. And it's not going to help because this episode was the most expensive episode of Doctor Who ever.
Of course it was. Ain't that just the way?
Yeah, it's back. We're back.
They just fundamentally misunderstand all of Doctor Who. Because, yes, Susan's in this episode for some fucking reason. Sorry, spoilers for anyone who gives a shit. And the Ronnie's just evil McEvil face and passive bitch in the other version of her. So, oh my god, I just became a brown lady. Please, mommy, tell me what to do.
My theory on that is, and I said it at the end of my review, and I'll repeat it tomorrow night again. My theory of that is RTD, who walked in and said, okay, I'm going to do this part for you right now because we need to reinforce that the older version has to be the weaker, not real version when we have a bi-generation.
Yeah, the real one is the new one.
They're trying to tell you that Shooty's not the clone, but he is the clone.
Mm-hmm.
He is the clone.
They're definitely doing that.
She's not the Ronnie. She's a Ronnie. I'm the Ronnie.
The definite article stealing the Doctor's line, of course. And it's just so fucking... And Time Lords are supposed to have more resilient bodies than humans, divorcing regeneration entirely. Like, the Doctor can survive worse injuries than a normal human would be able to.
Yeah.
But these hundreds of thousands of people at this arena who were stuck out in space for like half an hour and somehow saved by a Mavity shield, whatever the hell that is, they were able to be de-thawed and come out completely fine. But the Ronnie comes out and she's like, "Oh no, my two brain stems got frozen and I'm dead."
Yet he had the perfect nurse available to heal them. That the gay black nurse, male nurse. He had a gay black nurse there to deal with it.
Oh yeah, it's very coincidental that the doctor
was
able to get into the one empty booth at this biggest song contest, and that the two people he stole the booth from were
the
late.
two perfect people he would need for the rest of the episode. I knew you would say that.
Perfect skill set.
I said it in my review. I said Jed's gonna love that the coincidence that the gay couple were the perfect two temporary companions that Shooty was gonna need to solve all the problems.
Well, and this married old gay couple, of course, they're both in love with the doctor and trying to cheat on their husband.
They are so thirsty for him. I mentioned that too. Yeah. So, guys, stay
and they're
tuned.
okay with it. It's like, oh, get in line. I get to flirt with him first. I get to cheat on you first.
Tomorrow night, when we're done here, a little while from now, I still got to edit it up. You will get my review of Shooty Who Season 2, Episode 6, which is just a complete effing disaster of an episode when you look at it too deeply. But we are done here. Jed, say your stuff. Go ahead.
Well, you can all find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar. Just regularly scheduled live streams for this week, including Doctor Who Cares reviews and Saturday Night Drive-In, which Adam will get into more. I just do want to briefly say, since we didn't get a chance to talk about it, with the recent Switch 2 news, I will not be purchasing a Switch 2. It might be gifted to me, but I refuse to give money, especially that god-awful price tag. And it's a license to buy the game or buy the console. I if I'm buying something for that much, I'm buying it. I'm not renting it with a one-time payment.
So essentially, Nintendo is bending the knee to digital game culture.
Mm-hmm.
And weren't they supposed to be the stalwarts for physical media?
Yep. But now, apparently, it's most games don't have any game code in their actual cartridges. They're just digital codes printed out, basically. Some games will have it still in the cartridge, but the mainline games definitely won't. The Nintendo specific ones.
I waited 3 weeks to get my physical copy, and I'm glad I waited. I own it now. It's mine. Let me take it away from me. And I do respect what are they? Kepler and Sandfall Interactive, former Ubisoft devs. They have said for X-Ray 3, we're not going to make DLC. We're just going to keep working to improve the game. We're just going to make the game better.
Which the Switch 2 stuff that people talked about last week with the whole bricking stuff, it includes physical modifications. So people are wondering if their detection software, their piracy software, or whatever it is, might detect if you try to fix something. Like if the Joy-Con drift happens again and someone tries to, fix that, it could brick your Switch.
So you have to take it to a reputable dealer. You can't just try and homebrew fix it.
Yep, you can't fix your own Switch. You can't modify your own Switch. You can't do anything with your own Switch because it's not yours. You have a license to own it.
You know what? Let's put a pin in that. Let's let that build. We'll talk about that next week. Put a pin in that. Let's see if we get any more news on that. So, because it just broke, right? This just happened.
I just found out about it today. I think this is just people reading the license agreement because it all comes from the new license agreement.
Let's see what we can get on this, and let's see if we'll talk about this next week. Because I did forget. I did say we're going to talk about it. I totally forgot about it because we're at the end of the show. Anyway,
we had great topics, but yeah, I'm not buying a Switch 2 at this point. I'm not giving them money for this crap.
Dre, what's your week look like?
So we'll see what drops throughout the week. Of course, my Monday, of course, is going to be awesome since I will be at Career Day tomorrow, and that's going to be amazing. But also tomorrow, I will be dropping an interview that I just had with a indie film director that's actually starting their career. So that's going to be very, very good. So definitely check out that interview. That will be tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Brutal Playing Comics YouTube channel. So you don't want to miss that. It's a really, really good interview. And I might actually be doing some work with them down the line. So this might actually be pretty fun.
Nice.
We got some stuff cooking. So it's going to be a very good one. But whatever drops throughout the week, definitely stay tuned on the Brutal Playing Comics YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll be able to start gaming again and be able to put some more Pokemon battles on the Brute Plays YouTube channel. So definitely check that out as well. And follow me on X Twitter at TheBrute00.
All right. As for me, as I said, expect later this evening my release of Shooty Who Season 2, Episode 6. I will get that out to you guys as soon as I can. The recording is done. I just got to edit everything together the way I do. Then tomorrow we've got the Daily Dive, 1 p.m. Eastern, 5 days a week. The show where you, the audience, are in charge. You direct me to watch or read whatever you want. I only get a portion to myself. Either way, we're having a great time there. Thanks to everybody supporting us, making that a fun, exciting, new type of daily show where it's interactive. And that's, I think, what makes it fun and unique. Other than that, we've got Who Cares Reviews tomorrow night on this channel, Jed's channel, and Dermy's channel. Then we've got Mellow Mondays right after that. And the rest of the week, aside from the Double Ds, we'll see what happens. We got gaming. That's right. Much gaming will continue to happen. At least Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be back more of this. If you guys make it happen, we'll try and make it happen on Tuesday. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't played it since our last session. Technically, I have, but I've just been level grinding, which I'm allowed to do. Stand there, do the same thing over and over again for hours. And I've put on a bunch of levels. I'm much stronger than when we last left. And this game is great. I'm having a fantastic time playing it. It is worth all the hype I've heard so far. It's a lot of fun. So join me. Check it out. If you missed the session on the main channel here, all sessions are re-uploaded to the gaming channel, Renaissance Nerd Arcade, link in the description below. As for what goes on the rest of the week, nothing else major until we get to Ballbusters on Friday. I don't know who the guest is. And then on Saturday night, driving this week, Jed and I are going to be doing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. And if you haven't done it already, I guess it's over because I forgot to remind you at the beginning of the show. I'm going to close it down afterwards. Actually, I'll have to save it. Anyway, closing for submissions for this quarter's chat choice movie for Drive-In is now done. I will be collecting all your suggestions from the community tab, and I will then be giving them to a third party who has not submitted a suggestion. But in the next couple of days, I will have him or her, whoever volunteers, I still need a volunteer, will give me their 4 choices, and then you guys will vote on it to the rest of the week until we get back to Drive-In next week, and then the following weekend, Jed and I will watch it, whatever it may be. It's all good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff on there. There are things on there I don't want to watch. I hope they don't get chosen. Not because I think they're bad. They're just not movies I give a shit about. But that's not the game. The game is your choice, your movie. Anyway, and then let's see. I think that's everything. I got so much to repeat. I wonder if I forget things now. I got so much, the laundry list of shows. I stream every day now, essentially. Always streaming. We will be right back here next Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, for another roundtable. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you had a good time. Hit that like button, leave comments, subscribe to channels, and we'll see you next week. Until then, take it easy, everybody.